So welcome back. So if you are someone that is struggling with a large amount of debt and you're drowning in it, it's affecting your lifestyle, it's affecting your mental health, and you're wondering how you can get rid of it, and not just get rid of it in approximately 3 years. I am almost done with my over 30,000 worth of debt. I just have about 1,000. I'll be done by June 2025. Let me show you how. Keep watching in this video. I want to start off with saying that this is an issue that is very dear to my heart, because when I came to the UK 10 years ago from Ireland, it was tough for me because, first of all, I arrived without an NI number. I didn't know you needed an NI number to access a lot of resources here in the UK. So, of course, I struggled. I came in June 13, got a job in July, so started work. Of course, I didn't get the job that was equal to my qualifications. So just be careful. Whenever you relocate to a different place, it's difficult to kind of get your standing and your foundation. And so, of course, I accumulated debt over the years. I don't want to go into detail, but remember that whatever I'm saying in this video is based on my experience. So I need to give you a bit of background. So I accumulated store cards. I kept asking for overdraft. And if you're in the UK, you have, starting off, they will keep increasing your credit, your overdraft. If you keep asking, they will keep increasing it. And even the cards you have, they will keep increasing the credit limit. The more you ask, they like it when you're in debt. Your credit score is affected by the amount of debt you have. As long as you're making those minimum payments. Be careful though, because those minimum payments are full of interest. Now, whatever I speak on this call, remember, first of all, I'm a chartered accountant. Secondly, I'm a mortgage advisor. So a lot of things I tell you on this call, I know about, okay? So please keep listening, because I'll give you strategies. Of course, I'll also highlight the pros and cons so that it won't be that you take on it and not realize how it affects you both positively and negatively. So I accumulated all that debt. And then sometime in 2021, so of course, I used to take up new cars. So I'll go to the dealer. Let me just mention dealer. It doesn't matter. I'll go to Ford. I like their cars. Very good cars, by the way, if you're thinking of buying cars. I'll get a car, take it on a hire purchase, go home, and every month they'll take a fixed amount of money from my account. Then talk about, if it's a new car, you get it tax-free for a year, right? And then MOT, of course, 3 years, nothing for you, right? And so you keep paying monthly payments of, let's say the last one I was paying was £280 every month. Now you haven't considered insurance. My insurance came to, because I have years of no claims bonus, came to over £55. You're talking about fuel. You're talking about taxing it after the 1 year has expired, right? So in excess, I was paying over about £500. And then of course I took up a 3-year service plan each time. So that would amount to about £500 over the 3 years. I hope people are getting the figures I'm giving you. So that added to my debt, okay? I don't have a mortgage, I'm renting. Some people might argue that when you have a mortgage, it's better than renting. Remember that a mortgage is a long-term debt that you have on your head. Do you? I'm just saying, for me, it's, I'm just renting for the moment. So now let's go. So the first step that you need to do is to understand your debt. So the reason I gave you this background is, in 2021, my son was in my car. I can never forget that day. And he said to me, "Mom, what's happening? Like, how much debt are you talking about?" So it means that every time you get an income, it's not really yours, because your debt is more than your income. That hit hard. I never forget that day. And that was when I said I was going to do something about it. Because think about it, when you have an overdraft, mine was about £5,000. Anytime your salary hits, everything else, you're just in red all the time. It was horrible to see my account constantly in red all the time. I didn't like it. And so I decided to do something about it. So first of all, you need to understand what your debt is. How much debt are we talking about? How much, in store cards? How much in credit cards? How much in overdrafts? How much in car loans and every other associated loan? What are their interest rates? You need to understand. It's just like life. You need to understand where you are now. Then you figure out how to get yourself to a better place. Because if you remain here, you're just going to keep on affecting your mental health. You'll be in a position of inertia, which means you're doing nothing. So you need to pull yourself up, get a paper, a pen, and write down what your debts are. Name them. You have to name your problems to be able to tackle them. What the interest rates? Well, I didn't do that. Just name them, the outstanding balance for all those debts, and then we'll take it from there. So what I now did is set a clear payoff plan. Now, some people have their different debt management methods that are out there. I think the popular ones are, the avalanche debt management payment and the snowball. Now, avalanche means you start with a high interest rate debt first and pay them off and then start coming down. But snowball, as you can imagine, when you think of rolling a snowball, the more you roll it, the bigger it becomes. So for snowball effect, you start paying off the low amount of debt. So if you have a debt of 100, you pay that off before the debt of 5,000. Please research those two methods, but that's not what this video is about. In this video, I'm talking about a debt management method that worked for me, which is called the debt management plan. I don't know if you've heard about it before. It's called the DMP. So for a debt management plan, you come into an agreement with a debt management agency. I'm not going to name mine. There are different ones in the UK. And I had a detailed conversation with them. And in that conversation, they want to know what your income is. They want to know what your expenses, and then you need to let them know all your debts. And then of course your account numbers. So they're going to act as an intermediary between you and all your creditors. Okay. So creditors are the people that you owe, all those overdrafts, the banks and the credit card companies and the stores. So we came to an agreement. I gave them everything and they said, okay, can you manage? So they have to come up with a figure that is manageable for you. I think I started off with 200 or 250 pounds every month. So what that means is they set up, an agreement with your creditors based on the relative amounts you owe. So the more that you owe from one particular creditor, the more you pay them. Now, why is this the best way to go? This is the best way to go because under a debt management plan, they will advise your creditors to freeze interest. Remember that your debt is a mixture of your principal and interest, and a lot of people are drowning because all you keep doing in those minimum payments you're doing is paying interest. That's why it's never ending. Those creditors do not like these plans because these plans are asking them, if you want this person to do what she needs to do quickly, freeze her interest. Now, let me tell you the flip side of freezing interest so that you know what you're getting into. I had to ask myself, okay, my credit score is A-okay, I can get debt. All they want you to do in the UK is have a good credit score so they can still keep giving you debt. Do not be scammed. So what I did was I said, okay, Uchenna, the con will be that my credit score will be hit really hard, and it has. What has happened is, think about it. They send those letters out to your creditors. So if it's the banks, you already have overdrafts with them. So if they're asking them to freeze interest, the only way they can do that is to close your account. So now if you close an account with a balance on it, it goes into default. They report it to the credit agency. You have an account in default. That's not a good thing for you. Your credit score takes a big fall. So it means that in the process of trying to repay this debt, you will not be able to access any loans, which is good for you. It's a good thing because it forces you to come in and consolidate your expenses and cut costs and just rely on your cash. I can tell you for free that since I've been on this, I went to Dubai for my 50th birthday, all expenses paid cash. Last year I was in Paris, all expenses paid cash. This year I was in Amsterdam with my daughter, all expenses paid cash. It is possible. You can do it. Don't be sucked in by credit score. So what they did now is all my creditors, they agreed terms with them. And for the past 3 years, since January 2022 to be exact, I have been paying off my debt. Every month they take a fixed amount from me. So of course, the second thing to do is, the third thing I've talked about, understanding your debt, set a clear payoff plan, which is 3 years. That was my plan to pay it off. So I'm paying it off by June next year because it started in January 2022. Choose a repayment strategy. And I've told you the debt management plan is the one I'm promoting on this. You can do what works for you. I'm telling you my own experience about what worked for me. Make sure you research into it and make sure it's something that is feasible for you, doable, and something you can stick to. It said find extra income or cut costs. What did I do this year? We moved house in January. Remember, I told you that I take cars from Ford. And so after 3 years, the last car I took was in 2021 as well. So it was, my contract was supposed to expire last month in October. What did I do in April when I moved into this house? We're near the train station. I said, Uchenna, what are you doing with the car? You're not even a car person. Because I need to give you two advices. So I had paid off over £10,000 over the 3 years, right? And I had £10,000 left to pay. 3 options. Either pay it off over the next 3 years, sell, give them back their car and pay the outstanding balance, give them back their car, or the third thing is sell the car. Okay, sell the car and whatever is left of it, I take it. And that's what I did. I went to buyanycar.com and I gave them my car. Because I take care of my car, my mileage was okay. The car was beautiful. I got over £1,000 on top of what I owed Ford. So the difference, I paid off the car and I had £1,000 and I don't have a car and I'm enjoying it. It's making me work more. It's making me more healthy. And I'm just assessing my options over this 1 year. And I'll see by next year if I want another car. I am now more smarter and I know how to go about it. So be smart when you're taking on this car finance. So just be smart. All they want to do is put you in debt and just leave you there. So that's what happened. So some people will say cut costs. Look through your budget and see areas where you can cut costs. And also see if you can take on extra income. I didn't. I'm on an 80% contract to be exact, and I did that in June of 2022. So in the midst of trying to repay my debt, I went part-time because I can't kill myself. I can't come and kill myself, my people. So I went part-time. I don't work on Fridays. That's why I do my videos on Fridays, and it's convenient for me. But it might not be convenient for you, so make it work for you. If you're going to take on extra work on the side to help you pay off this debt, that's what you need to do for those 3 years. Okay, so that's exactly what has happened. And so when we moved into this house, I used to pay, I think I used to pay £300 every month to this debt management agency, and my debt has reduced now from over £30,000 to £1,000. I'm not joking, guys. My debt is now just short of £1,000, and by June next year, considering I'm paying off £200 each month, I'm done. I'm so excited. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited this has made me. Just realize that your credit score will take a hit, but after a while, it will normalize. Don't let that discourage you, okay? And you need to stay motivated and consistent, because sometimes, and just forget that money you're paying, okay? Just realize that money is something that is going to set you free eventually. One of the areas where we go wrong in life is not being consistent with our goals. You need to be consistent. You need to be consistent and roll with it. So what are the tips I've given you today? Understand your debt, write it down, come to terms with it, and set out a clear payoff plan. Either you do the snowball, avalanche, or any other debt repayment methods. I chose the debt management plan. That was my repayment strategy. And then find extra income, cut your expenses. I didn't, I felt that I could manage it based on the income I currently earn. And finally, you need to stay motivated and consistent. Hopefully you found some value in this. And I've told you the things that have happened to me since then. I've gone on holidays. It hasn't changed my standard of living. And by next year, it means I even have extra income, because then I'll be debt free. And that will just make me sleep well at night. So find your why. My why was my son asking me that question in 2021, and I ran with it. Every strategy has its pros and cons. What do you want to do with your life? Hopefully you found this video interesting. Share it with your friends. A lot of people are drowning in debt and they don't know what to do about it. This is one avenue that they can pursue. Please research. Like I said, research. Don't take my word for it because it worked for me, okay? So thank you so much for watching. My playlist has a lot of tips, how to, find your niche and how to, fix your 9 to 5. I'm here to give you advice. I'm auntie. Your Nigerian auntie. Okay, so I'm here to give you an advice, and hopefully in your 50s you do not feel so drowned and so out of hope that you do not feel that you can make a change. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.